Books make you hope. Books make you dream. Books make you laugh. Books make you scream. This is the Books That Make You show, discussing books with authors and experts, unraveling the inner pages of all the books that help make us who we are.
Welcome, everybody. It's time for the Books That Make You show. I'm Desiree Duffy, and I'm your host. And today we're talking about books that make you travel to magical worlds. Imagine graduating from high school, getting ready to chase your dream career on Broadway, and then the world shuts down. We all went through it, but depending upon what stage you were in your life, it impacted many of us in many different ways. Some of us were impacted, simply stated, more profoundly than others. But the incredible opportunities that spring from our collective dark night of the soul is that creatives who were stuck at home, well, they did what creatives do best. They made things. Such is the case with Vianlix-Christine Schneider, who wrote her first book, Seaside Magic, which took her to this, there we go, I love it, took her out of the real world for a few hours each day as she created a magical place with 14-year-old protagonist Caroline Smith, who discovers that her family has magical powers and then also finds out that a mysterious masked man wants to put an end to all of that. Vianlix-Christine is also the author of Seaside Magic, The World of Mirrors, and Puffy Ball. Now, here is something amazing about all three of the books. They all, get this, won BookFest Awards, which is truly a phenomenal feat. Vianlix lives in Virginia with her supporting family, along with her two dogs, Hershey and Urio. Oh my God, I love that. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here. And actually, my dog Hershey right now is actually trying to break into the room I'm in. So he's here too.
Dogs like to do that, right? It's like, how could you be in a room without me? It's all about me.
I keep hearing his paw on the door.
I love it. I love it. Well, every once in a while, we have our furry friends that make appearances on shows one way or another. There's nothing that beats a cat that walks across somebody's keyboard in the middle of a Zoom meeting, right?
That's the best.
Exactly. Okay. So tell us about your writing journey. Can you unpack that a little bit more for us?
Yeah. So I started writing in 2020, right before the historic 2020 started. So it was like late January or early February. And I just wanted to write something. I originally saw it as like a musical, and I just wanted to get the idea out of my head. My brother had surgery in February, so we're both really creative, and he was bored. So I was like, hey, let's just like make up a first chapter or something. So we did that, and I really liked it. He really liked it. I kept writing, and here we are today. And there's 2 that are published, 1 that's being edited, and that last one's coming out. So there's going to be 4 of that series. And I just can't believe that moment of, hey, let's do something to distract you, created a whole beautiful career.
That is such an amazing thing when that happens. It's almost like things just fall into place and you might be taken off the path that you thought you were on. Can you talk a little bit about that feeling? Because you were originally chasing your dream of being on Broadway. Can you talk about that transition?
Yeah, so I have been dancing all my life. I have been singing since I've been able to talk, and I have been acting probably since I was like 12, and even till now, I still kind of do it a little bit, but I started a little bit older than everything else. And I really, really liked it. I loved it. I loved that I was able to express myself, that my voice, I could make sounds that were really loud, go really high, and it was just really fun. And when we went to see our first Broadway show in 2019, I couldn't believe people were doing what I loved for a living. And it was just so beautiful. So I chased that, and I wanted it so bad. I had so many master classes, and I was so ready to go. When I turned 18, the plan was to move up to the city and just try. So when the pandemic hit and all these walls started coming up in my plan, it was very hard. It was a humongous setback. in the age of like 18, 19, you're very like gentle with everything. Your mind's not ready for such realities, harsh realities. But I feel as if I handled it the best that I could, and I'm very grateful for the new doors that opened when they all came crashing shut.
I think you handled it better than anybody could be expected to. As somebody who was a little, put it this way, Vianlix, I'm just a little bit older than you, in case you didn't notice. But as somebody who can only imagine, because I can remember what it was like being 18, 19 years old, and you have this plan. A lot of times you are told this is the plan. You go to college, you decide what you want to be for the rest of your life. So when that gets turned upside down, that's profound. So I just have to commend you and your brother too for taking your situation and just being so agile with it. Bravo, bravo.
Yeah, thank you. It was hard. I did go through a bit of a depression. The writing really did help. It was a bad depression, but the writing helped. It took me out of my brain. It took me out of the world we were living in. And out of that sadness that I have a wonderful career. We actually got another dog because of all that. So there definitely was a beautiful sunny day waiting for me in the end of that journey I had to walk.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so let's talk more about the journey. So I have Seaside Magic on the wall behind me. You've been holding up your books. Yes, tell us all about your books.
Okay, so I'll start with the first one. The first one is about a young girl who learns her family has magic, and she does as well. Someone wants to harm them because of the gift, so quickly she has to learn how to use her magic to survive that summer. So then the second one follows and takes place a year after. Spoiler alert for the first one. The main character's father has passed away, and in the villain's house, she finds a magic mirror that she hears his voice. So with her friend, she travels through it to find him. In there, she finds dragons, Merlin the Wizard, and a bunch of spoilers.
Fabulous, fabulous. And okay, so can we talk about the doggos? We got Hershey and Oreo. Is that right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Hershey is a chocolate lab. He's 9. He is like our baby. We all love him to pieces. He's spoiled rotten. And then Oreo is a year and a half, and he is even more spoiled if possible. We just love him. He's very cuddly, and we just love them both so equally. They love to eat.
I love that. And Puffy Ball. Mm-hmm. Am I saying that right? Yep. There, that's the book. There you go. Tell us about that one.
Well, I grew up, we love Christmas. We always have. So my grandma always, no matter what time of the year it was, would tell me a bedtime story of Puffy Ball. And she used to do historical events that we were living through at the time. She would make it into a child story. So I could like when Obama got elected, she turned a story into that. So I could learn what was happening through that. And that's how she used to put me to bed as a kid. She would tell me a bedtime story of Puffy Ball. So I thought it'd be very sweet if kids could grow up with him as I did. I even had a little white stuffed animal, a Puffy Ball. That's how important he was to me. So I'm really proud of this story. I love when little kids, I see them with this little white dog and they're like, look, it's Puffy Ball. I'm like, oh, you get to do what I did. So this story is very dear to me. I adore it.
It seems like family is really important to you. How much of your writing was influenced by your family?
Probably a lot more than I would think, because I would write some characters and they'll be like, oh, you got this from your aunt, right? And I'm like, yeah, actually, now that I think about it, yeah, maybe I did. So a lot of it is that, especially like the love a lot of characters have, like in Seaside Magic, the relationship like the grandma has with the granddaughter, a lot of it I took from my own relationship with my grandma. The kindness that the parents have, I took that also from my parents to me, because they spoil me rotten. They love me to pieces. So I wanted to capture that love and that family we have in my own home, and that people could feel it in a book, almost like a hug.
Mm-hmm. And magic plays such a important role in your books. Why is that?
Sometimes real life just gets so stressful, and like you could get so stuck in it. And the beauty of picking up a book that maybe you're no longer in the world, you go to another place and all your problems disappear completely. For me, that's the most beautiful thing you could do with a book, to pick it up and just leave. So I really wanted to capture that. I didn't want to be in a place that is real. I wanted to go back in time where issues that exist for us that stress us down weren't real yet, and it was just a comforting place to go in a book.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beautiful thing about books is they transport us to other places. They get us out of the reality that we're in now. And that can be positive. It can be a learning experience. It can help us grow as people. So there's so many things that we as readers can do when we're escaping into those books. Do you have any advice or thoughts that you might want to, words of wisdom that you might want to impart to other creatives, other writers who are starting out on their journey?
Giving up seems very easy to do when the story gets hard or you don't know what to do with the plot. I almost did it, but you just have to know that the story you're telling is worth telling. The world deserves to hear your thoughts. The world deserves to hear a world you've created. And when it gets hard, you have to push through that. There will be days when you can't write a page, and there will be days when you could write more than 10. You just have to stay positive and believe in the story you want to tell everybody.
What message do you have to readers? What are some of the themes that you explore in your books?
One of the themes that for me is really big is that family is not just blood. Family can also be people that come into your life unexpectedly. There's a lot of characters in both books that they just come in, they're not family, maybe they're friends of the family. Like in the first book, Dutch is a friend of her grandma, and he becomes very important to her. He becomes like a father figure, a grandfather to her. So in life, there's stuff like that these people come along and they become so important to you. So I really wanted that message to be clear that family could be anybody you love and that they love you.
That is such a powerful message and so important, especially for those who might feel disconnected from their family or they might not have a big family. Realizing that a found family or a family are the people in your life that you connect with, that's really beautiful. Another thing that is really beautiful and awesome, and I cannot commend you enough for winning not just one BookFest Awards, but you're a multi-BookFest Award winning author. How does that feel?
I can't even put that into words. When the first one won, I was in a hotel in West Virginia after a very defeating BookFest. Like, I was so down. I was questioning everything. I was like, did I make a mistake? Do I need to go to college? Like, I was like in this whirlwind of like, oh my goodness. And we got this email, and I was a little bit confused by the formatting of it. And so my mom, she reads it, and we find out that I win, and it's late. So we're trying not to scream in this hotel, but we're jumping and like we're crying. And it was so emotional. And then the second one, I was not nervous, but like I didn't want to put hopes that I could win. I was like, maybe third place, maybe an honorable mention. There's no way that I could ever do that again. So I woke up and I got the email and I go to my mom and dad. I'm crying. I'm like, this is going to happen again. And Puffy Ball, the fact that it also got up there too, I don't even remember. It was like a whiteout. Like I was just so excited, and I just couldn't believe that not once but 3 times I had the opportunity to jump for something that I wrote.
Oh, well, congratulations. I mean, and that's, that's the wonderful thing when you're an author and you're a creative in anything that we do, you're a creative human being because you write and you can perform and do all of these wonderful things. And it can feel very alone, very lonely. And just knowing that your art, the thing that you created has touched somebody, that in itself is powerful,
I get excited when I think that the book won, and I'm like, oh my goodness, somebody read it and loved Jewel. Somebody loved Sal. Like these characters that I created, that they were in my mind for a while before they were in the computer, then paper. These are characters that somebody was like, oh my God, I love this character. I hope nothing happens to them. Like I want to see where their story goes. And that means a lot to me.
Yeah. What's on the horizon? So more books? Where are we going with the series or other books? Talk about that.
So I have 2 Puffy Ball, technically like 3 Puffy Ball books are going to come out this Christmas. I am making an easy read, a young reader version for Puffy Ball, the first one. So instead of a paragraph per page, it's a sentence that symbolizes the story. So from 2 to 4, you could read it. There's going to be a second Puffy Ball that I can't quite say what it's about yet, but that one's coming. It'll also have a simple reader version with a Spanish one as well. And then for Seaside Magic, the third one, I'm editing it this summer, and I hope it comes out through February, around like that time. And then the fourth one I gotta finish, and then that will be the wrap-up of Seaside Magic, which is hard because I love those characters, but there's no more story to tell, so I have to put them to rest and find something else.
That can be hard, right? You form a relationship with these characters, and you never know. It's good, I think, for a series or a story when it's done. Let it be done, because sometimes there's stories that go on too long, and we don't want to have that happen either. But then it gives you all that opportunity to come up with new ideas, new characters, new worlds.
And that's a little overwhelming sometimes because you're so comfortable with these characters you've created. You're so comfortable with the world you made. And then you got to go and start all over again. And it's like, oh boy, what do I do now? But I already figured out something. I can't share anything yet of it, but I have 70 pages of it so far. So I really like it. So we have something else coming.
I love it. I love it. And yes, no spoilers. We don't want to reveal too much. But that's amazing. I'm so glad that you're doing that. Any plans or thoughts about going to Broadway or taking that path or going back that way? Thoughts there?
So right now, I love singing. That will never go away. So I'm actually, since last year, been working on my soprano because I've always had it in me, but I've never paid attention to it. So this past year, I've been working on it, and I could sing most of the songs in Phantom of the Opera, which for me is impressive because I couldn't do that a year ago. So I could get that high, but I don't know about going to Broadway to audition and stuff. Maybe at one point, when I want to, I'll do like local stuff, but I don't think I'll ever, I don't know. I'm very young. It's a very long life. Maybe I will. But as of right now, I'm very content with what I'm doing. I love the opportunity that I could write, take a break, sing, and then come back.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you've got so much time ahead of you. So congratulations for that, for accomplishing so much at a young age. And the world is literally your oyster at this point. Curious. And your answer cannot be Oprah. Do not say Oprah. If you could hand your book, Seaside Magic, we'll pick one of your books. If you could hand Seaside Magic to any person in the world and be guaranteed that they're going to read it, who would you hand your book to?
Maybe Steven Spielberg.
There you go.
Maybe because he could make a movie out of it. I don't know.
And do you see that? Is that a possibility one day too? Maybe transforming your books into screenplays? And
I think I'll die if that happens. I would be so excited if that opportunity comes. There's been a lot of times where you're just I don't know, the ideas of what you're writing won't come to your head. So you're like, who would I cast if this was but I don't know. It's a possibility. I know that people do like magic and stuff. So a lot of people in the book signings are like, oh, this will make a cool TV show. And I'm like, well, the first step is to purchase a book so the world could know about it. So who knows? Maybe one day.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of times that's where Hollywood gets their ideas. They look at what books are out there, what's popular, what's selling. So again, there's so much potential with the characters. And I know it's easy to cast them as folks that are famous. Just give us a few examples, if you could, of who you've cast for your books or your characters.
I'm so bad with actors' names that I don't know. I might just say characters because I have a hard time with the names. I think definitely for Jewel, I would cast her grandma. I would cast, I don't know what her name is. It's the actress that she was in The No Good, Very Bad Day. She was the mom of the main kid. I don't know what her name is. She's super famous. I should know her name, but I would cast her.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't know the name either off the top of my head, but that is so much fun when you can cast the characters that way. What about music or soundtracks? Do you have music that you feel goes with your books as well?
It's a very random playlist. It has like 100 songs on YouTube. It has to be like instrumental music and or karaoke tracks because if there's words, it throws me off and I'll start singing along. But I have stuff from like Forrest Gump, E.T., Somewhere in Time, some Star Wars stuff. Definitely Harry Potter because it's a classic. Stuff like that, and it helps. It's a long playlist, and I love it.
As far as other books that are similar, I mean, you mentioned Harry Potter, and that's probably one of the first books and series that comes to mind when people think of magic. But are there any other comparable titles? I mean, if somebody is reading X book or X series or author, they might be more inclined to enjoy your books too.
Well, if you definitely enjoy anything with magic, I feel like my books is a good place to land. One series I just got done reading that I didn't find similarities, but I like the same type of vibe. It's called the Cruel Prince series. So if you
Okay.
like that, you might enjoy mine too. So you could fall there because I feel like everybody sees magic and they go Harry Potter, but there's so many other stuff down here that are blinded by this book. So it's a good book, but you gotta span and see what everybody else has because there's a lot of really good books with magic and different worlds and all these really cool places you could visit.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, can you tell people where they can go to find out more about you? Give us your website, social media, all of your details.
Okay, so my Instagram is my first name and my middle name without the hyphen, so it's just Vianlix-Christine smashed together. There you will see endless pictures of my dogs and some of the art I do, as well as stuff about my book signings. And then my website is also my name, so it's www.vianlix-Christine.com, and that lets you know where my book signings are going to be. You can pre-order the books there. Sometimes we give little snippets of what's coming through there alone. And then if you want to see me be a complete dork, I have a TikTok, which is, again, my name, Vianlix-Christine. And there you can see me do very funny videos, decorate my room for Halloween, and sometimes talk about my book through there.
I love it. And can you talk a little bit about your name too, Vianlix? How did you come up with your author name?
So that's actually the name that I've had all my life. My mom has the same name I do, so she's Vianlix Meste. And back when she was born, my grandparents put their two first names together. So they put the Van from Vivian and the Lix from Felix. They put that together. And my mom actually wasn't going to name me that until like a few months before I was born. My name was going to be Scarlett Marie Schneider. And I don't know what happened. Like a few months or weeks before I was born, my mom was like, "No, I'll do Vianlix." And then Christine is my aunt's middle name, so she put that there. So I have the family name.
I love that. Well, and again, it ties back into the fact that you have such a powerful connection to family. That's a theme in your book. It's
Yeah.
your name. It's how everything just comes together. That's really amazing. Vianlix-Christine Schneider, thank you so much for joining us on the Books That Make You show. It's been fun.
Thank you. It was so much. I loved it.
Excellent. And thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Please make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram. Also, Books That Make You is on TikTok and YouTube. Make sure that you ring the bell, subscribe. You can also sign up for the Books That Make You, a Webby award-winning newsletter. And you do that on the website. That way you're always informed about news and information about great books and authors like Vianlix and so many more. Make sure that you subscribe so that you never, ever miss a thing from your friends at Books That Make You. Until next time, all of my bookish buddies, please enjoy all of the books that make you exactly who you are.
The host and executive producer of the Books That Make You show is Desiree Duffy. Sound mastering and engineering by Dave Napox. Social media and content promotion by Siddhi Jahagirdar. Copywriting and editing by Mike Robinson. The Books That Make You show is an award-winning podcast produced by Black Chateau Enterprises.